My name is Andy. I'm a recovering addict, and today I am a son, a family member, and yeah, that's it. That's what I do.
Andy, thank you so much for coming out to speak to On the Road to Recovery today.
Thank
here
you.
At the Sunrise Treatment Facility in Piqua, Ohio. We're really grateful that you got to take the time out of your day today. Can we start off at the beginning? Can you share a little bit about your childhood?
I grew up in Huber Heights, which is about 10 miles south of Troy, and just a typical family. Both my mom and dad worked. I was the original latchkey kid. You know, and looking back, I realize that I started in on addictive behavior at a very young age. I didn't really start doing anything illicit or illegal for quite some time, but I would get hooked on something and I wouldn't quit. You know, that compulsion to do things. Obsession and compulsion was there at a very young age. I didn't really start doing any drugs until I was in high school, and it was all over after that. It was just one giant downhill run from there.
So what was your first use like? And what did it give you?
Driving downtown Dayton, going to bars, coming back from downtown Dayton, hammered off my ass on my Timbs with all my buddies in my car. We were going down there because we knew where all the UD girls hung out at, and yeah, that was a lot of fun, and it just started from that.
What was a feeling that you got when you first started using that you didn't have before?
Self-confidence. You know, I was beat down so much at home and made to feel like crap so much. You know, that term liquid courage. Oh my God, yeah. I had the courage to talk to these beautiful college girls, you know, and carry conversations and stuff that otherwise I didn't feel I could do.
Can you share a funny or tragic story that highlights your use?
Yeah, okay. I used to run with, there was 7 of us, and I'm out of all 7 of them, I'm the only one that's left. And I went to the funeral of the last guy besides me, and this guy was a giant of a man, and he's like 6'7", you know, and he had this little tiny wife. She probably didn't weigh 110 pounds soaking wet. And after the funeral, she got up in my face and said, "When are we going to bury you?" And it struck a chord. It made me realize, you know, that there was more going on here than what I was thinking.
How did your disease progress?
Slowly for a while. But then I got to a point to where it just opened up and there wasn't any turning back. I knew I had a problem, and I thought that I could manage it. Uh, you know, well, you know, I'm only going to drink on weekends. And I kept getting fired from jobs. And you know, these assholes keep firing me. You know, and it's their fault. And and well, you know, when you don't come to work, you're too hungover to come to work. You know, that's a problem. By the time I was 30, I was full blown into my addiction, and I was just seeking out harder and harder and harder drugs. And by the time I was about 48, I bottomed out. And you know, and there was times where I could quit and hold my shit together long enough to get a job. I even drove a truck. I was I hold a CDL, and I did that for almost 10 years. And you get caught with a CDL, they just hang you out to dry. So you know, I kept my shit fairly straight. Wasn't going to guarantee anything on the weekends, but and then even by then, I was drinking in my truck. You'll be surprised what you can find in truck stops in LA. Yeah. I actually, at my bottom, I was laying in a rest stop in the back of my truck with my doors open, wishing that somebody would come by and find me and take me out. And it didn't happen, you know. So I ended up, naturally, I lost that job, and I ended up walking into a recovery place here in Troy and saying, look, you know, I need help. And with all my health issues that I have, I was able to get on Social Security. And from that point, that was 10 years ago, I've been able to straighten some shit out.
How were your relationships with family and friends impacted during your use?
Wow. There was a time where I didn't even know where my mom and dad lived. And they wanted it that way. And you know, I can't say that I blame them. You know, I did every dirty thing you could do to my parents. And now, my mom lives with me. So I've been able to repair that relationship. My dad died about 3 years ago. And I really wasn't able to rebuild that relationship, but at the end I was able to make amends with him and kind of tie that up before he died. That's one of the biggest regrets that I have is not being able to do that sooner. You know, he's hard-headed, I was hard-headed. He wasn't going to bend, I wasn't going to bend, and it ended. It didn't end the way either one of us wanted it to end. And as with friends, any of my past friends from my past life are gone. I don't associate with them in person. I have a couple friends that I keep on Facebook, you know, and that's about as close as I let myself come to them. They're dangerous.
What kind of support helped you the most in your early recovery? Before we answer this, 12-step meetings, not AA, if that's a part of your journey. We just say 12-step meetings instead of AA or NA or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask that one more time. So, what kind of support helped you the most in your early recovery?
Getting getting involved in the 12-step program, getting and staying around people that were in recovery, and just completely changing my life.
So now that you have a few years under your belt, what does recovery look like for you?
I can't imagine life without recovery. I'm still very involved in recovery. I do a lot of service work. I'm very involved in service. I sponsor people. In fact, I was talking to one of my sponsees before we came in here. I know that I wouldn't be where I am today without my recovery.
Can you share any stigma that you faced while recovering, whether it was from family or friends, community, employment, healthcare? So stigma that you faced in your recovery.
I just ran into something just a couple months ago. I had some, I fractured a vertebrae in my back, and I had to go to the ER, and the doctor come in and was talking to me about what they were going to try this and do that, and you know, I said, you know, I want you to know that I'm a recovering addict, and I would like to refrain as much as possible from any opiate-based medications, and it was like the air was sucked out of the room. She got up and looked at me and walked out, and that was it. You know, I wasn't in there for any other reason, is I couldn't stand the pain, and I needed something done, but I wanted them to know. So, you know, that stigma of being an addict is still there. But, you know, that's the first time in my 9 years that I've run into that. It's getting a lot better. Most doctors I've found are understanding and willing to work.
Okay, so now being in your recovery, what do you see in your future?
Wow. I can actually look forward to having a future, and that's just so fucking nice.
Didn't say that.
Actually, I'm working on my CDCA. I'm looking to get into the field and help more. I think that with what I do and how I do it, I can help more people than just, I can reach more people than I can in its 12-step program. I'm so grateful for what has been given me that I want to give it back. Now you're making me tear up a little bit.
How has recovery helped to heal relationships that were damaged during your active addiction?
Wow. First off, in recovery, I've learned how to communicate, learn how to talk about how I feel, you know, what's bothering me, what I think is right and wrong. When I was using, I had no idea what was right or what was wrong, and if, you know, if somebody was mistreating me in some way, you know, I didn't want to do or say anything. I didn't want to stand out because I didn't want anybody to know that I was high. I've learned to communicate. I've learned to listen. That's huge. That's huge. And I've also learned that I don't always have to be right.
Share some inspiration and hope for those who are still struggling with addiction.
If you are struggling with addiction, remember, think that there are people that love you, there are people that want to help you, and you can come back from any addiction. We can help. We love you.
Is there anything that we missed that you want to share with the world?
No matter how bad you think it is, it's not that bad. You can recover. We do recover.
Well, Andy, thank you so much for coming out to speak with us today and taking the time out of your schedule to join us and share some inspiration and hope for those who need to hear it most. Your story is going to help spread awareness, humanize addiction, end stigma, and inspire hope, one story at a time.